What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time we're going to take a look at Asmus Toys Gimli. Now, I've been eyeing this figure for a long time now, and I am glad I checked out Big Bad Toy Store. I've been waiting for a sale. It just doesn't want to go on sale, so I finally caved in. Head over to bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below and purchase him since he's still available. There's so many good things coming out on Asmus Collectibles that I know there's an Aragorn coming up, and I already got Legolas. I already missed out on Boromir, so I had to purchase Gimli while he's still out there at a retail because this is one of Asmus' finest. It just never went on sale, so I just caved in and purchased this, and I couldn't be happier. And as you can see here, the box is pretty thin, which I do love. I love boxes that are thin. They're easy to store. It's just beautiful. Look at this lettering right here as well. The Gimli, their logo is embossed, and it's a shoe type kind of box, so you just pull this one up and it reveals Gimli with all his great accessories in there. It's pretty straightforward figure. As you know, he is a dwarf. He is taller than Frodo, but he's smaller than a regular, 1/6, which is typically 12 inches. But I'm telling you, you are gonna get your money's worth. This is one of the better figures that I've received in a while. And one thing that I've noticed with Asmus though is that when they release a prototype, the prototype pictures, which they just did with Faramir. And a lot of people already got comments, for whatever reason, their actual figure is better than their prototype, which that's a good thing. At least they're not scamming us on releasing like beautiful prototypes and then the actual figure is bad. They're doing the opposite of it. The bad part to that is that, people get turned off, I suppose, with the promotional pictures that they release, because when I've seen his like actual face without the helmet on, I wasn't too impressed with the paint application, but in here you can see it. It's pretty darn good. So I don't know, whoever their photographer is or whatever he does, he needs to edit them a little bit more, use Lightroom for example, or better lighting. I don't know, because it doesn't do justice to the figures when the prototype comes out, especially with Faramir. Recently, I think it looks beautiful, but for whatever reason, there's just no depth whenever they take these pictures. And you can see there's this pieces right here. They're all die cast. And that is great. That is great. Not all companies makes die cast weapons, and they're one of the few ones that actually does it all the time. And the paint application is great, and they come with so many. I mean, you have more axes that he does have that he can holster in his body for. And that is a good thing. You can just keep some on your drawer or keep some on your accessories panel. I'd rather have more than less, especially if the price point is pretty cheap on this one. As well with what it does come with, because it feels like a really premium figure when you get somebody like Gimli. That's why I couldn't wait for their Crown Series Gandalf, because it's really rare. You get a figure, and there are some figures who are rooted hair. Very rare that you see a rooted beard, and I think Asmus is the only one that I've seen who does rooted beard, and they're gonna do it with their Gandalf, and it's gonna be epic. And with this guy, if Gandalf is as close to this guy right here, you can see all the details on this axe right here. It's phenomenal, and this is made out of die cast, and I'm happy. It blows my mind why it's still available to Big Bad. It's not available at their website anymore, but we need social love. Lord of the Rings fan, come on now. This is probably one of the best figures that I've seen from Lord of the Rings, as far as just not even just 1/6 or Asmus, just in general. Just love this figure altogether. You can see the helmet here. It's just beautifully crafted as well, well detailed. The head sculpt, I can't complain. There's so much things to love about this figure. The only thing maybe that I would say something about is the stand, because as you know, he is not a standard size figure. He's a bit shorter than most figures, so typically you would have a shorter stand as well. But I feel like I tried putting the peg inside the stand as far as I could, and without breaking them, obviously, and then I pushed the wire stand, but he still kind of like levitates a little bit. He's still floating up in the stand, but you can see this helmet right here. Most of the time you're going to display him with this helmet, and it's a beautiful helmet. It's just nicely fit. It's nice snug. It's not going to fall off. it's not gonna rub off to the face or anything like that. So if you decide to remove it, you're gonna have this nice streak in the face. No, it's not gonna do all that. And as far as outfit, you can never say anything about Asmus when it comes to outfit anyways. This is the area where they always excel, which is the outfit of the figures. It is beautiful when we're talking about Asmus and their quality when it comes to their Lord of the Rings. And we look at the beard right here. It is wonderful as well. As you can see, there's many layers of this beard that is, you can consider sort of DX when it comes to like Hot Toys, if you were talking about Hot Toys. Because look at the quality of this guy right here. It is beautiful. There's some braided, there's some loose beard. So you can just imagine, like, when I talk about, customizers and all that stuff, and I'm complaining why this figure does not have a rooted hair, in this case, a rooted beard and a hair, they always come up with an excuse why it's expensive, it's hard to do. The figure would cost $800, $1,000, but you can see right here, it doesn't need to be a hair from a fresh baby or something like that. As long as it looks good, as long as it's done properly, I don't care if just don't make it look like the hair is just all over the place, as we've seen in some other 1/6 collectibles. This was done properly, and I don't really care it's made out of lamb or a fresh baby hair, or the firstborn of a Greek, Egyptian, whatever baby, or whatever the case is. It doesn't need to be premium. It just needs to be done right. And I don't know. For all I care, it could be synthetic. The hair that they use in here, it could be the one that they use for brushes for Crayola or something. But it looks great. And to me, what matters is if it's displayed. I'm not gonna, stylize this beard or this hair. As long as it looks great on my shelf and it looks great when I photograph it, that's all that matters to me. I don't care if if it's soft and silky and smooth, none of those. But as you can see here, outside of the hair, the overall outfit, the belt, there's some buckles in here. Even on his back, it's really beautiful. It's intricate. It's unfortunate that you won't see this if you put in the cloak, but it's nice to know that it's there if you decide not to put on the cloak. So you see that those hooks on his back. On the cloak, if you decide to put that in, there's also a slit that you can just slide it in, and if you want to, you can put his sword in his back. That is purely optional, obviously. And the chain mail on his body, supposedly, one of the complaints of the collectors that I've seen, but I honestly is okay with it. Some people do customize it, put in their own, but it looks perfect to me. And as far as the head sculpt, we'll take a look at one more time as the beard. It is just done properly. It's just beautiful. So there's two different types of braids, as you can see. There's the bigger one and the smaller braid on this mustache. It was done properly, in my opinion. And look at the paint application that they did on this face. If you look into one of their or all of their prototype, it looks like the paint is kind of sloppy, but not really in hand. I mean, it looks great. The paint is not sloppy whatsoever. Honestly, you can display him without a helmet if you wish to do so. Maybe the hairline is a bit rough, but a bit futzing around, I guess. Is that the right word? Futzing around or whatever. This could look, really nice. I've seen it on the promotional videos as well, where the hair is kind of like more towards the forehead, where it's kind of you can hide that rooted part on his hairline, and that would look great. But obviously, he would look so much more better with the helmet on, as always with any helmeted figure, whether it's him or, at least in my opinion, whatever the other guy name is, King Theoden as well. He doesn't have a rooted hair, but to me they just look more of a warrior when they're wearing their helmets. So this is Gimli that we do all know, and this is him wearing the proper helmet, because when I did that shot, I didn't really push it down all the way, but look at that. That is just phenomenal right there. I mean, what more can you ask for? The beard. So when you take a picture of him, which I would do, proper lighting and all that stuff, man, this would look like the actor itself. I don't even know the name of the actual actor, but it's just, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, like I said earlier, and for the most part, I would display him with the helmet on. That for me, that is just Gimli. There's a hood in this cloak, which I'm not sure how exactly that would work out if I decided to put a hood on him. Although I have never seen him with a hood on. Maybe I haven't watched the movie in a long time. I should rewatch that movie because I'm waiting for another figure from Asmus, which is Oakenshield. Oh man, that would be good because he would be. I missed out on the Bilbo Baggins sale. He was on sale for pretty cheap at 1.2 at Big Bad. I think it was like $92. Now it's sold out. Again, I'm kicking myself now because I should have gotten it. I thought it was gonna go lower, but kind of like this guy. So I learned my lesson from Bilbo. Gonna purchase this guy. And as far as articulation goes, his arms can go sideways pretty nicely. So this is the advantages, I guess, of his outfit. Now, mind you, I'm not pushing my figure to the limits. I just won't. So you can push the arm forward. I'm pretty sure you could do more than what I'm doing now because the outfit underneath is actually two-fold. So it's not all rubber. It's not like the chainmail is hindering his articulation. It's just really tight. I know I can push it even further if I wanted to, so the knees are double jointed. But mind you, we're talking about Gimli here. Gimli is more of a tank than a ballerina. So even if you watch the film, he doesn't really, he doesn't do any moves that requires, flexibility or agility. He's more of a compact type of warrior where he's like a pit bull, where he's just small, and pit bulls are not small, by the way, but he's just powerful, like a tank. That is his reputation, I guess. And then Legolas obviously is the marksman, so that's what I love Lord of the Rings so much. You can see there's different material on his armpit, so that shouldn't hinder any movements whatsoever. If you're gonna move him, I would say hold him on the like the shoulder ball joint. But like for whatever reason, I can't move it up that well. Although at some poses, if I'm required to, I would push him to the limits. I kind of did on one of the poses that I made here. So I'm gonna put him in several poses here. This is the tomb. Forgot the names too. But this is on the Fellowship of the Ring. So I just put him right there. Kind of matches, like the background there. I'm gonna put some smoke in there too, so that would look nice. And here he is, like just moving around. I'm sorry. I do apologize if you can hear a ring on the background. That's an annoying phone that we have. Yes, we still do have a landline. So, but if you don't, great. But here he is, like just moving around here. Just good looking figure, man. And as far as poses, I'm pretty sure you can do more dynamic poses. He comes with assortment of hands that is just right, and this is what I'm talking about earlier. You can put him in a pose like this, double jointed elbows. This is, I guess, New Zealand. That's where they shot this Fellowship of the Ring, and I think for the most part they did shoot it at New Zealand. If I'm wrong, just put it on the comments down below. I already forgot. It's been a long time, but I know I'm just glad that Asmus kind of stuck with Lord of the Rings because I like the franchise. I love the franchise, and they're coming out with characters that are not the mainstream, like Faramir. They're coming out pretty soon. They just released Elrond. Or I think he's still on pre-order on some places. If you order it from Hong Kong, I know he's already out. Elrond is already out, and Arwen. And I'm just glad that they are sticking with this. And they're possibly my favorite movie is The Two Towers, and I love that scene from The Two Towers. And I remember the video game back in PlayStation 2. That was intense. When orcs are climbing up that wall and you're gonna knock out. I forgot the name of the game. Quite possibly Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. But I love that scene where Aragorn threw him as well, and both of them just clean house. Oh man, and it's raining too. You can see the effects that I'm making now. That's why sometimes it takes me a while to release this reviews. Maybe I shouldn't put so much effort in it, but I don't know. When it all comes together, it looks great. And this is proper lighting. I didn't even color match it the way I should have. And this is just size comparison when it comes to Legolas and Frodo. Now, Frodo's kind of a little bit leaning towards Gimli because he does not have a stand. And he just doesn't. When Asmus released The Hobbits, they just didn't include stand on them. But you can see he's a lot shorter than Legolas, where he should be. But he's also taller than Frodo. So it just gives you that nice size comparison there once you decide to display them in your on your detolf or display case glass, or in my case, I'm displaying them currently on my shelves because one advantage if you display them on the shelf is you can just take them out anytime and take a picture of them. When they're in a detolf or in a glass case, you gotta move things around and you just tend to leave them alone. See it right here, if you kind of display them, they have this nice base as well, so they look good together. I'm waiting for you, Aragorn. Asmus, I know you're working on an Aragorn. Please make it right. Please. I once again I missed out on the slim version. I would have grabbed the slim version. They were like for $175 back then. I would have grabbed it, and it was rooted hair. Although the head sculpt wasn't exactly like the way I guess most people want it to be, but it is pretty good in my opinion. So there you go, guys. This is Gimli from Lord of the Rings from Asmus Collectibles. I highly recommend this figure. If you are a huge Lord of the Rings fans, just like myself, this is the best version of Gimli that you're gonna get. Go ahead and jump on it before they sell out on Big Bad Toy Store, because we don't know if they do sell out. I did talk to Asmus. They're planning on re-releasing Gimli again, maybe a second run. And to me, they shouldn't run out of main characters because I want them to be successful, because people who missed out on the main characters might not be that inclined to get somebody like Faramir if they missed out on Boromir, for example. So I hope they do a second run on all of these figures, and I hope they do sell, tremendously, because there's so many more characters from Lord of the Rings that I would love to see, like Lurtz and Sauron, and we don't even have Gollum yet. So support Asmus and Lord of the Rings if you want to see those characters done. Thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Just reached 10,000, so the next milestone, I suppose, would be 15,000. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and follow me on Twitch as well if you want to talk to me out there. I'm pretty much there every night. So thank you for watching, and I would see you guys in the next review.